Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on here and share one of the steps that I've taken in my personal wellness journey. And I call it a journey because, we all want this quick fix, but there are no quick fixes. There are so many things that are out there that are in medicine and that are in alternative medicine and the whole realm that you really need to help decipher for yourself. But what I noticed when I did work in the medical field, I was an ultrasound tech, so we got labs and different things like that, is I realized that not all doctors and practitioners look for the same thing or even get the same things checked on people. And so before I go any further, I do want to make sure that, any statement that's made during this presentation, it has not been evaluated by the FDA, and you know that they are the gods around here, and that this is for informational purposes only. And it's definitely not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, prevent any disease. So always consult with your personal healthcare professional. Anyways, that's a very important thing because most of the time your health professional knows you, they know your history. But one of the things that I realized was that, a lot of times they don't have time. So they're overworked, they're underpaid, or they already know the latest and greatest drugs, or their hands are tied by a system that says if you have these symptoms, this is what they must do for you. And because that's what insurance pays for. But I was recently listening to some different podcasts and things like that. And actually, doctors can write you prescriptions for exercise and for food. So look into that. Dr. Casey Means is one of those people who talk about that is an allowable purchased under most health insurance plans. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the way that I empower myself, because I'm a self-pay, and so I want to make sure that I'm getting the most things possible for the money that I'm spending. And so I ran across Function Health. Dr. Mark Hyman, he is the head of complementary and alternative medicine. He is a medical doctor up in Cleveland Clinic. And so, anyways, he created this company, and I really, once I started getting the information from it, I really, really loved the information that I got back. So I wanted to share with you the things that have helped me. I'm going to make this bigger here. Hopefully you can see that. But anyways, so let's see if I'm going to be able to make it advance this way. I'm not going to be able to. Okay. So my Function Health story, I wanted to share with you my personal results that I have gotten from using Function Health. And the reason why I use Function Health is because I get all of my labs, which most of us have, or most people have, like the health portals where you can get your labs. But do your labs actually tell you what it is that they're looking for, or why your markers are off, or even optimal range? And you'll see I have I had some biomarkers and stuff done, and we're just going to go over the cliff notes of my health. But one of the things that really brought me a lot of joy, because I've worked on it so much, is that my biological age was actually almost 10 years younger than what my chronological age is. I'm 47, and biologically the cells inside my body are 37. And I bet had I done this years ago that I would not have these amazing results. So anyways, that's my personal ones here, but I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of everything in a small condensed area. So once again, my story here, they make this nice little thing for you. I had 116 biomarkers in the last 12 months looked at. And I actually have labs coming up next week and the week after, because they check your hormones and everything too, whether you're menopausal or postmenopausal. We all have hormones in our body, right? So very, very important that we know that we're getting the broad spectrum of everything that we need to look at, because our body is a puzzle. And if we're only getting 50 pieces of the puzzle every time and they keep telling you that your lab work still looks okay, I don't see nothing wrong, um, they may be missing some of those biomarkers that would help you determine if your body is already under stress, and maybe you should start doing something about it before it breaks. So we want to look at optimal here. Okay. So my once again, my biological age is almost 10 years younger than my calendar age. So super excited about that. Um, my heart health is in the top 10%. Now, I have some genetic issues that also put me at risk for higher CRP, which is my heart markers. And so those are some of the things that I really work on because I want to make sure that my heart is functioning optimally. And if you look at this, I'm in the top 10% of all Function Health members. And I don't know how many that is, and I'll have to look that up, but top 10%. So that's pretty cool. The next, my blood health, most of my markers were all in range, and they were all in range for optimal ranges, not just the normal ranges. Because if you look out there, normal is not normal, and I don't want to be normal. I would like to be optimal. So it's what I really love about Function Health, because it does take into account what is optimal for you. My metabolic health is in the top 10%. So I have cut back on a few different things. So I'm very interested to see if some of the changes I've made get me even up higher, or if maybe I needed to go back to some of those things. So it's some of the things we need to look at. So my female health, which was my hormones, were in the top 5%. So, very balanced, which was super cool. And I'm very happy that I do know that. My nutrient levels were in the top 25%. So there was a couple things that I need to make sure that I'm mindfully, because of my DNA, that I'm mindfully putting into my body, since I don't always get an opportunity maybe to eat the rainbow or to eat certain things. I want to make sure that I'm in the top that I can be. I need to be optimal. Next, my thyroid health. A lot of times as women, we go to the doctor. I know I was an ultrasound tech, so people go, they say my thyroid's fine, but I still have all these, different issues. And so, looking at all the different markers, and this would be it for another time, and I could go in and show you all the different markers, but a lot of doctors are only testing your TSH and maybe your T3 or T4. But there's like 6 other things that you also need to have checked to make sure that the puzzle piece that you're looking at, your whole entire picture of your thyroid. So anyways, that was in range for me. My kidney health, my GFR, creatine, all those other things were functioning very well with my kidneys. So happy about that. My pancreas, my insulin, glucagon, all those different, because they measured so many different things. They were all in range. So very important to know. Autoimmune wise, I did not have anything out of range, signifying that I would have an autoimmune disease. So some of you, when the body starts attacking itself, we don't realize that there's something that we're putting in, or that's in our environment, or whatever, that is causing the body to continually look at the body as if there's something going on and there's something wrong. My aging and stress markers, my telomeres, once again, that biological age, it showed that I am in range. That's something we all need to look at. Heavy metals, I did have, I think, 8 different heavy metals looked at here, and they were all within range, which is good because I have mindfully worked on that over the years. And then here's the overall summary of everything that was tested. So out of 116, I had 108 that were in range. And I'll tell you, that was my second lab draw. So on my first lab draw, I only had 4 markers that were out of range versus the 8. So I had stopped doing some supplementation. So I added that back in. So I'm hoping that when I go next week to get my labs drawn and they give me the results of that I'm going to be back up into the less than 4 biomarkers that are out of range. Once again, the biological age of almost 10 years younger, which is so awesome. There's so many different things on that, but I want to thank you for being on here and watching this with me, because I do think it's so very important. And here's what I'll tell you about Function Health. And I don't think that their prices have changed or anything like that. But for $500 a month, 490 or not a month, I'm sorry, $499 for the year, you get, for women, we get 3 lab draws, because that second one is they're testing the hormones and seeing where they are at during your cycle, even if you don't have a cycle, even whether you're postmenopausal. These are very, very important for us to look at. And so the cool thing about this is when you go through and you look at it, it also tells you what foods are also going to help keep you high up in that being in the optimal range, and understanding how those things can shift. It also will show you different supplements and things that you can add to your diet. And I was already taking most of these, but when you slack off, you can actually see the results. And that is something that happened with me, is I could definitely see the results, especially in my biomarkers. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown here. I'm going to put the link in here. And if anybody wants it, this is just a referral link saying, hey, thanks for sharing with your clients and your friends and your family. At Function Health, you can use my code, which is ADAMOS, which is my first initial and last name, 10. And that just is one of those things that helps give me just a referral and a shout out for helping to promote Function Health. And like I said, do always consult with your healthcare provider. If you have insurance, some of the time your insurance is looking at some of these things, but when you go in and you actually see how they show you, you can change those numbers that are maybe the lab results you get say you're fine, but you're on the low end of normal, whereas Function Health might flag it as, hey, this is showing signs of stress. Or if you're too high on the quote unquote normal range, that doesn't mean you're okay. There are some things that you can do to start helping to prevent you from going over the edge one way or another. And so it's about education. It is about understanding your body, how food influences your body, because food is medicine. And that should be our very first thing that we turn to, should be changing our food. And then if you're somebody who still can't get the right nutrition in your body, maybe you don't absorb very well. I had that issue for a long time. Maybe you don't absorb very well. Maybe there's some other things going on. You can use these biomarkers to kind of help yourself to understand that, and talk to your healthcare professional and say, listen, I'm doing this. I know you're telling me that there's nothing wrong, but I still feel like garbage. Very important. So anyways, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me. You can, let me actually put my email on there. We'll do that instead. Amber at lifeforcewellnesscenter.com. You can send me a message. I do wellness consulting and life strategy is what I call it. Because really it's just about making strategies to help you move through life in a better way, something that serves you a little bit better. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this little video, and I'm not going to keep it too long. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can always give me a call at the Wellness Center, 270-982-4848. Or you can also reach out on Facebook. You can just send a message, like I said, to Amber at lifeforcewellnesscenter.com. Have a fantastic rest of your day.